Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing just a little chit chat about my prior pregnancy, my current pregnancy, and just like a Q&A that I had put on my Instagram regarding my pregnancy and any fitness related questions. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So first I'm going to start with my prior pregnancy and kind of what it was like, and then my birth story. So I got pregnant in 2018 in January. That was my first pregnancy. The first time we actually tried right away, it happened. Thankful it took on for that. So yeah, the pregnancy was great. I continued weightlifting throughout my pregnancy. Everything was fine. And then we got to the due date, which was September 30th. September 30th passed and there was no sign of labor, and that was fine because we were moving to a new house, or we were moving out of our current house, so it was fine. I didn't mind that the baby didn't come on that day. So continued waiting, and it ended up being like October 10th. So I was almost 2 weeks overdue, almost at 42 weeks, and there was no sign of labor, no sign of anything starting. And I had a midwife throughout my pregnancy. So my midwife, their approach is more of like natural, kind of let the body do its thing. Going past, 41, 40 weeks isn't a big deal. So they kind of just let me be to see if labor started naturally, and it didn't. So then my midwife decided that she'll use the catheter Foley balloon on me to induce labor. So what that is, it's like a balloon. Too sure what it's used for, but they called it like a catheter balloon. Maybe it's part of the catheter, and they put it up in, up there, and then they blow it up. So then it blows up, and that puts pressure on the cervix, and then contractions started. They were very mild, but you could feel that something is happening. So then after a couple of hours, the Foley balloon actually fell out because I had dilated to 3 centimeters, which was great. So this is now, what was it? It was a Wednesday morning, like 11 a.m. And at that point I was at the hospital, and they had just checked me, and they're like, okay, you could just stay because you're overdue. And my contractions had started, but they were very mild. So we stayed there all day, and then it came nighttime, like 11 p.m., 12 a.m. And my contractions were getting worse and worse and more painful, more close together, and it was just getting pretty bad, pain-wise. And I was a bit upset because my room in the hospital didn't have a tub, and I wanted that. Like, I wanted to sit in the water in the tub, so that didn't go as planned, unfortunately. So yeah, my contractions started getting worse. It was just me and my husband in the room. Trying to help me the best I can, but I mean, you got to give it to the guys. They do their best. And I kind of wish I had a doula as well. So that's something I'm going to be doing this time around, is hiring a doula. So contractions started getting more and more, and then it was like 6 a.m. at this point. My midwife checked me. I was 6 centimeters dilated, so it was good. I was progressing, but I was just exhausted because the baby was like just so big. I was just so tired after so long, just laboring, anticipating the arrival of the baby. So, what was it, 6 a.m., I ended up getting an epidural, and I think that's what caused my C-section. So I got an epidural, and I'm just laying on the bed. So you're not really moving. I just feel like your body is not able to do its thing because you're just laying on the bed, right? So after I got my epidural, a couple hours later, they're monitoring the heart rate of my baby, and they said her heart rate is dropping after the contractions. It's normal for I think it was normal for the heart rate to drop during the contractions, but hers were dropping after the contractions. They kind of monitored it for like an hour. Then they said, you know what, we have to do a C-section because her heart rate is dropping. So that's pretty much what happened. It was like 11 a.m. at this point, And I was kind of relieved. I was excited because we're like, okay, this is finally over. We're going to meet our baby. My husband had a little panic attack in the bathroom, which I think is normal for all men because they make you sign like this waiver and like they list all like the risks of having a C-section, and like, you know, I'm kind of out of it. So my husband has to, you know, sign and be aware of what he's signing, right? So he was, you know, had his little moment, and then they're just like rush. They just take you to the operating room. And then within like, I think 10-15 minutes of going into the operating room, I heard my daughter's cries. We didn't know what we were having. So the first thing I heard was like, I still remember this, the surgeons, they're like, oh, the hair, like, look at how much hair there is like on her head. So my daughter was born with like a full head of hair. It was crazy. Yeah, so then after they took her out, my husband walked over to the table and he told me that it's a girl, and I was so happy because I truly wanted a girl for my first baby. I just wanted, you know, my little mini me. And so then the midwife brought my daughter over, put her on my chest for like 5 minutes. And then they took my husband and my daughter to like a recovery room, I think it was. And so they're just stitching me up, and I'm laying on the table, and I remember at one point I just started shivering so bad, and I think that's a normal part of the epidural. That's what I've heard, and what the anesthesiologist was saying, who was standing there, that you just start shivering after a while from the epidural. And oh my gosh, I remember how horrible that felt. Anyway, they stitched me up. I go into the recovery room, and I remember just laying there with my eyes closed, and I was just like, I don't know, you don't know what they're pumping in you, all these drugs. So I'm just like kind of out of it, laying there on my bed, and I could hear my daughter and my husband doing skin to skin with her. It was just really special. And I'm like just thinking in my head, okay, like when I open my eyes, like this is it, your life is changing forever and you're a mom. So I kind of just like, you know, took a few minutes to just process that, like close my eyes. I'm like, okay, this is it. Now you open your eyes, you grab your baby, and that's it. Life is changed forever. And so it was. So then I opened my eyes. My daughter gave me my daughter, or my husband gave me my daughter. The midwife was there, she's just helping me with like latching and breastfeeding and all that. So yeah, that was my birth story. We ended up staying in the hospital for like 3 or 4 nights, which I hated. I was miserable. I wanted to go home. And then I remember it took me like 30 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, to walk out of the hospital because of my C-section stitches. Like it was just, I don't know, I just moved so slow. And then of course there was the recovery and all that, which is, maybe I'll make a separate video on that. But I mean, I didn't want to have a C-section, but it happened. And you know, the safety and health of the baby is the most important thing. So yeah, that is my first birth story. So I was pregnant in 2018, baby was born in October, and yeah, she was almost 2 weeks overdue. And now she's about 3.5. And we're on to the second one, which is, baby is coming in December. I'm currently 23 weeks pregnant. So now I'll get into the Q&A that was asked to me on Instagram. I don't want to like kind of ramble on, so I do apologize if I am. Okay, so someone asked what pre-workouts to take in pregnancy. I would say do not take any pre-workout in pregnancy. You don't need it. You shouldn't take it because like pre-workout is designed to just wake up your nervous system. I think it has a lot of caffeine in it. So pre-workout has a lot of caffeine in it, and that's I would just stay away from all of that during pregnancy. So don't take any pre-workout supplement, but have a good nutritious meal, like, you know, piece of toast with like peanut butter and a side of fruit. I think that would be an adequate meal to have before you train in pregnancy, and even in general as well, because you're going to get the carbs from the fruit and the piece of toast to keep you energized during your workout. So that's my 2 cents on any type of pre-workout. Stay away from it during pregnancy. Do you think getting pregnant after our 30s affects our health in a bad way? Absolutely not. I'm not sure where you heard that. Both, like I'm in my 30s right now, and I've had both of my kids in my 30s, so, and I've been healthy. My kids, well, the first one was healthy, and this one, everything is fine so far in the ultrasound blood work. And I just look at, you know, like other women who are celebrities or athletes who had babies in their 30s, and they've been completely fine as well, right? Like there's so many Olympians, there's, I don't know, Meghan Markle, I'll name her, I think she was like 39 or 40 when she had her second child, so I don't think there's anything, it shouldn't affect your health in a bad way unless you have like an underlying condition, right? But overall, if you're like a healthy, fit woman, you shouldn't be worried about that. Topic. This is not related to my pregnancy. How did you and your hubby meet? Loved your outfits at the recent wedding. Thank you. Hubby and I met. He's from England, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. A mutual friend introduced us, so he is friends with someone here in Surrey, and that friend introduced me and my husband. And it was just instant connection. We just knew we were soulmates and meant to be together. What's the main thing that keeps you motivated to train in pregnancy? For me, I've been through a pregnancy before, and I know that me training and keeping fit and healthy helped in my recovery, made it a lot easier and faster. So I know that I'm training for my health after giving birth, as well as just my mental health as well. This year has been very challenging and tough for me, and movement is something that keeps me grounded and happy. So that's my main motivation for training in pregnancy. So how to cure digestion issue in pregnancy, like constipation, indigestion. So this is something that I had, you know, interim struggles with during this pregnancy, or in my last one too. So our bodies during pregnancy will naturally create the hormone called progesterone, and that hormone, it naturally slows down digestion, so we can extract more nutrients from our food to give to the baby. So amazing, the woman's body, by the way. So that slows down it. Hormone will slow down digestion, and then constipation is common during pregnancy. So I would say drink a lot of water, drink foods or eat foods with a lot of fiber. So you have like your oatmeal in the morning, and then going for walks, like getting some sort of movement in. Those 3 things have really helped me. So lots of water. You want to do like 3 liters a day. Foods with fiber and getting movement in. Those 3 I would say are key to keeping your bowels moving during pregnancy. Are you planning on bulking during pregnancy? Any tips on nutrition and training during pregnancy? I mean, I'm not planning on bulking, but it's obviously just naturally going to happen because we just gain weight during pregnancy, and that's just how my genetics are. I know I just gain weight during pregnancy, but I mean, after pregnancy, I know that I can train and refine my diet, track my calories, and it'll come off. But so yeah, it's not like a planned bulk. It's just naturally going to happen. Any tips on nutrition and training during pregnancy? I would say make sure you're consuming an adequate amount of protein. I know I can improve on this. One way that I'm supplementing, I am vegetarian, so I try to add, or I am adding scoops of protein in my oatmeal in the morning, and having at least like 1 protein shake a day. So I'm using the Sun Warrior protein. I find that it's the cleanest. I talked to my naturopath doctor. She said it's completely fine and safe to have good quality protein during pregnancy. So that's what I am doing. And training during pregnancy. So training during pregnancy, my number one tip is like, you're not trying to get stronger, lift heavier, or trying to compete. I would say you're just trying to, you know, move for your mental health and just to stay healthy. So that doesn't even mean you're maintaining your strength. It's, you know, just humbling yourself, letting your ego go, and just doing what's best and listening to your body. So like, you know, a 200-pound squat might not be that much for you, you know, even during pregnancy, but it is a lot for your pelvic floor, your abdomen, your hips, your area down there that's already under so much pressure from the growing baby and like the hormone relaxin, which is just loosening everything up. I actually had a friend who just told me that she was squatting 45-pound plates. So she was squatting 135 pounds. She's about 30 weeks pregnant, and she went to her OB, and it turns out she has prolapse in her area down there. So that's like when your organs kind of start coming out, sticking out of your vagina. And so so she's like, she's going to be scaling back her lifting. And even so that's just an example. Like, even though that weight wasn't heavy for her, it is doing, you know, it is heavy for her pelvic floor and her, you know, the pressure that's already down there. So just an example. I'm totally scaling back all my weight. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. I'm just trying to stay healthy, stay happy, and be safe. Okay, this is not related to pregnancy. I've never seen you wear any jewelry, any particular reason, FYI, just curious. I do wear jewelry, but sometimes I just forget to wear it. Like, I do have some rings, I have some necklaces. I mostly wear those when I'm going out and I'm like dressed up. Yeah, so that's it. It's not that I don't wear jewelry, it's just I like to kind of wear it more when I'm dressed up, going out somewhere. Favorite part about having kids? You're beautiful, thank you. Favorite part about having kids, where do I start? It's just amazing. Like, just first of all, just conceiving a baby and just feeling the kicks and little punches, like I'm feeling those right now. It's just magical. And then just holding this beautiful soul that, you know, God has blessed you with, like, in your arms for the first time, and just watching your baby grow, and just they just keep you, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just the best thing in the world. Like, having kids is just the most beautiful, precious blessing from God. Like, I don't know what my life would be like. Like, I can't even imagine my life without my daughter and this new baby to come. Like, it's just, they just make it so happy, so meaningful, and I feel like they just give life so much more purpose. Like, even like the simple things, like I'll take her to the park and she's having the time of her life. And that just makes me happy. Like, that fulfills me. As weird as that sounds, but parents will understand. So many things. Definitely have kids. I recommend it 10 out of 10. What do you use to avoid stretch marks after delivery? So during pregnancy, you can rub your belly with like oils or shea butter. Any type of oils I think are good, but I think genetics is the main thing that is going to determine whether you have a lot of stretch marks after giving birth or not. So in some ways, yes, you can use the oil, but is it going to prevent stretch marks completely? No, because that does depend on your genetics as well. But just keeping it moisturized, keeping the bump hydrated, I think is the best thing to do. If weightlifting is causing knee pain, but no pain in quads or glutes or hamstring, what does that mean? I would say that means that your knees are weak, so you need to work on the surrounding muscles around your knees to strengthen the knee. So that means I'd recommend doing toe lifts against the wall, focusing on the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, inside teardrop muscle, your quads, the front of your shins. There are, what's his name again? The Knees Over Toes guy. Follow the Knees Over Toes guy on Instagram and YouTube. He has great information on how to strengthen your knees. That is a common problem, but you can strengthen your knees. Everything about the first trimester, important details on diet, exercise, precautions, food. Oh my gosh. I think every woman can tell you that the first trimester is just a write-off. You're just trying to survive. So my first trimester this time around was worse than the last pregnancy. I was just tired, nauseous all day, just laying on the couch, just had heartburn. It was just horrible. I remember like anytime I'd feel slightly hungry, like I'd want to throw up. So I was at the point where I had to wake up at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, and I had to make myself like a sandwich set with sourdough and butter or something just so I wouldn't feel sick. So I ate a lot of sourdough bread in my first trimester. Obviously that didn't help with like weight gain, whatever. I mean, it'll come off, not worried about that. But I would say don't worry too much about the first trimester. You're just eating to survive. You have so many food aversions. Even exercise, it wasn't my main focus just because of how horrible I was feeling. I would go for walks, and that's pretty much it. Precautions, I would say, in the first trimester, they say to not consume that much caffeine because your baby is at a high risk for miscarriage up to 12 weeks. So I just didn't consume any caffeine. Do you do one-on-one coaching? I do, but I'm currently just taking a break from it because I just don't have the mental capacity or bandwidth to do that right now. But I will continue at some point, and when I do, I will post it and make it public that I'm taking on new clients. Ways you take calcium during pregnancy. I'm not really tracking calcium. I am taking multivitamins, which I'll show you the pictures here. So I'm taking omega-3 oils, which are very important for the baby's brain development. And then I'm just taking a multivitamin. In the fall, I will be taking a supplement with vitamin D. Right now I'm getting out in the sun quite a bit, and my omega-3 oil has vitamin D in it. I will also be taking probiotics a bit later on in pregnancy, probably in the third trimester, because I want to create that healthy flora for the baby. Any differences that stick out between pregnancy number 1 and 2? The main difference I would say is the first trimester for this pregnancy was way worse than the first trimester last time. So many food aversions, so much throwing up, just feeling sick all the time. But I'm glad that's over. So now I'm feeling a lot better. Yeah, so those are all the questions that were asked on my Instagram Q&A box that I put up. Let me know if you have any other questions down below. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And I think that is it for this video. I'm just trying to keep it nice and short. Sorry if I was talking so fast. Just trying to cover everything and not have this video drag on. But anyway, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Core Strength. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.